This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Oh, great to be catching up with Sophie Devine, who's on fire for the Perth Scorchers at the moment. The girls are doing particularly well, but we need a few more wins on the board. We can go and watch, our Scorchers play the Melbourne Renegades today at 5:40 at the Wacker. Then Sunday, they're up against the Adelaide Strikers. We're going to smash them anyway, so don't worry about that one.
Balmy evening thing to do tonight, wouldn't it?
Well, Sophie loves the heat, of course. Sophie, 36 today. That'll be nice at the Wacker.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking it might actually be a little bit cool for me. So, no, it's going to be a ripper.
Yeah, your Kiwi roots make you really used to the heat, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, middle of winter sort of thing for me.
Hey, so before we get stuck, keep going with the cricket talk, I want to ask you how you were feeling after the All Blacks were beaten by South Africa just on the weekend.
Devo?
How could you... I mean, I've only just stopped crying now, and now that you've brought it up, I mean, it's bringing up a bit of emotion, but... it was a great game, and
there can only be there can only be one winner, but you don't want the other team to win.
You don't want it to not be you, yeah.
Yeah, no, look, it was a great game. I mean, I could say a few other things, but I won't. But no, look, it was an awesome tournament. I mean, I can't remember exactly, but how did Australia go in that tournament?
Horrendous.
Super segue. But also, that happened the same weekend that the Aussies beat the Kiwis at the Men's World Cup.
Oh, I know. It was a very rough 12 hours for me, I've got to admit. I made a bet with a few of the girls around, when the Black Caps beat the Australian men. And unfortunately, I had to suck that one up. But again, another great game of cricket. I think we gave the Aussies a bit of a scare.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah. 390 or something ridiculous.
When you're out in a field and the game's really close like that, and particularly when you saw Mitchell Starc bowl the five wides. The five wides. Can you have a go at your teammate, or you kind of just...
Grit your teeth and be supportive.
Yeah, well, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure on the inside you absolutely want to scream at them, but I'm not sure if that's the best look to be hurling abuse at your teammates. But, look, it's one of those things where everyone's trying their best. No one ever means to bowl five wides, although as a Kiwi, we were loving it. We were asking for another five wides, but it really helped. But, no, look, I think it's one of those things you sort of always want to try and be nice and positive.
Hey, so when you said you had a bet with your teammates over the result, do you bet money, or is it like, clean your kit for a week, or is it, what is it?
Yeah,
money
no, definitely not money. The actual bet was to wear a pair of big granny undies on my head. Should we lose? But unfortunately, I couldn't find a pair of granny undies, so I managed to dodge that one. But,
so just a G-banger then?
Yeah, a bit of a face mask.
Yeah, nice.
That's awesome.
It is. That's so good.
Now, Soph, we need to keep ticking along with these wins because we're sitting in fourth position at the moment, up against the Renegades tomorrow.
No,
today, sorry, should I say. Are you ready to rock and roll? Yourself and Beth Mooney are going pretty well so far, certainly with scores. Yeah,
no, look, we're absolutely looking forward to it. We know this competition's been a bit funny this year. Everyone seems to be beating everyone.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, especially while we get to play at home, that we rack up the wins, that when we go on the road, we can make sure that we can steal some more. But the great thing about the team this year is we've had plenty of different people step up. Chloe Ainsworth, a young gun from Perth here, has been absolutely lighting up the tournament, as well as a few other players, which, that's awesome. That's what you want to see. Everyone knows Beth Mooney's going to score runs. It's just what she does. But to see the likes of Chloe Ainsworth has been outstanding, Maddie Dark, Chloe Paparo as well. It's just so cool to see the local players stand up and, deliver the goods.
Momentum's such a big thing as well, going through here, because there can be some ups and downs, but you certainly start getting a bit of momentum going away, and all of a sudden you're heading straight into the finals with a lot of confidence as well. Yeah,
you did right. I think for us, we know T20 and in particular these sort of tournaments, you're right, you want to be trying to get on a bit of a roll, and it can be hard to stop. Winning certainly a habit, and for us, we know if we can start that ball rolling while we're here at home, when we go on the road next week, that we've got a really good level of confidence behind us, and we know that we can beat any team, no matter whether we're at home or away.
Now, Sophie, I hear a rumour that you can add fashion designer to your CV because Sunday is the Indigenous match, and you had a hand in helping to design the outfit. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. It was such an awesome process. So Linda Lou, the designer of the shirt, did an incredible job, and I was fortunate enough, along with Ashton Turner from the men's program, to be able to work alongside her and I guess just go through a bit of storytelling around, I guess, our cricketing journey and obviously the cricketing journey here. And in WA, and it was such awesome. And she's done an incredible job. I absolutely can't wait to wear the shirt on Sunday. I think, to be able to put together what she has been unbelievable. I mean, I've got no artistic ability in my bone whatsoever. I can't even draw stick people. So to see what Linda's been able to produce for us, we're certainly really proud to wear the Indigenous top, and we can't wait for everyone to see it.
Oh, good on you,
Yeah,
Linda.
that's
That's
so
awesome.
good.
That is fantastic. Hey, so before we let you go, international cricket's always happening around the clock. You're playing here for our Scorchers, and you're also playing in all leagues around the world. How do you get any time off?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You definitely try and find little wee pockets of time. I know for me, I actually haven't been back to New Zealand since about June. I've been on the road, sort of all around the place. But for me, I mean, I'm so lucky to call this my job, so I'm certainly lapping it up. But sometimes it can be literally 3 or 4 days at home or 3 or 4 days at the end of the tour to, I guess, refresh and decompress, almost more importantly, before I go on to the next tournament or the next team. But it's certainly really important that you get those breaks, not just physically, but probably more importantly mentally for me as well, to make sure I'm good to go and I'm at my best.
So you're a gun for hire, essentially. Where are you headed next after the WBBL?
I actually get to go back to New Zealand, which is nice, but we're straight into a series versus Pakistan at home. So I don't quite get to go sleep in my own bed back in Wellington, but certainly nice to at least be in the right country.
Yeah. Oh, so good luck this afternoon. We can't wait to get you girls over the top
down there. It's super cheap. Tickets, adults are only $10 and kids under 15 are free. So it's a brilliant sort of family night out.
Yeah, summer vibes tonight.
Yeah, summer vibes. It's going to be so good. Tickets available via Ticketmaster. Thanks for talking to us, Soph.
Awesome. Thanks heaps, guys.
Good on you, Soph.
Get some granny undies for your head. So
Good
on you.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We are talking about when, you live in one of those streets where everybody gets involved in something, whether it's every house being decorated for Halloween or the Christmas lights, and you're like, do I have to do that too?
Yeah, what if
It's a lot of pressure. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, how you going?
Good, Jamie.
All right, so this is about Christmas, yes?
Yeah. Every year, the street would get into Christmas a little bit, and one year, this lady had this massive Santa in her front yard, and every year it would make the most noise and a lot of lights. And then all of a sudden, one year, it was destroyed. Someone had cut Santa in half.
Somebody attacked Santa. You can't do that.
Do you reckon was there someone in the street, you reckon, Jamie? Yep.
Yeah, the rumour was someone in the street finally got sick of that Santa Claus making noise and lights, and she kept it up for the remainder of Christmas though, even though it wasn't doing very much.
What, a mutilated Santa?
So was this an inflatable one?
Yeah, giant. It was.
So imagine an inflatable thing with a hole in it. There's just that noise.
Gaffer tape. Amazing.
Oh, Jamie,
Someone's
had enough.
Yes,
I'm going to do something about this Santa.
When you take a knife or a sword to Santa, you've been pushed to the edge.
Indeed. Piara Waters. Hello, Candice.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
Candice. Shout out to all the P-Warts.
We love our P-Warts. Okay, Candice, do you live in one of these streets that gets, everybody gets involved?
Okay, putting it right out there, I'm a friendly person. I'm a great neighbour.
Okay.
We all knew it. We all knew it.
I sense a massive but.
When your whole street is involved in monthly barbecues, so each house takes its turn to have this barbecue on their driveway, and they bring out the chairs, and all the kids are allowed to play in their backyard and their pool, and they provide the snack. And no, thank you.
So
you don't want to do that every month.
Do you go to the barbecues and just not host, or
No, we
you boycott
so we don't
the whole thing?
host, and when they're on, we have to kind of hide in the house. We can't leave on a Sunday afternoon that month,
Candice,
and we can't let the kids play because other teenagers. I mean, I don't want your grotty pre-primary kids in my house, or
Hands
and
on
then
the wall.
I have to clean before they'd come because they'd come inside, use the bathroom, and then I'd clean after they leave, and dietary requirements.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's too
realise
much.
when you purchase a house
You're
that
right.
you've got to feed all the neighbours.
That's not what you're
and-
buying into, is it?
So is that the rules with these barbecues? So this is the person that is hosting the barbecue. Are they just hosting it as on the grounds
providing everything.
and like maybe some salads, or is it they provide the meat and everything?
Yeah, Yeah, so they host the whole thing.
Oh, God, that's
and then, because
expensive.
everyone takes turns. But you see, one month it's on the left-hand side of our house, and then the next month it's on the right-hand side. So it's clearly visible that we're not even on a corner where you might see it go. You just see it jump.
Do you know what the rest of the street thinks of you guys? In that you're not participating, they're off you.
Oh, yeah, they'd be talking about them.
We tell them we've got stuff on. We're like, oh, sorry, lots of family.
Gee, they're busy.
No.
Every month. It's amazing.
Everyone knows you're a liar.
But then we have to keep up our lie. Like when the next week they ask, oh, how was your family? Go, yeah, we did catch up with them. It was what? And you think, oh my God, where were we going this month? What was happening then?
You got to start writing
You're going to
things
have to write
down.
and lie down.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Candace.
God. I really would love the scenario of you and your family hiding in the house, and then there's a reason that you had to get out of your house and while the
Yes.
barbecue's on, everyone see. God,
Yeah.
I would love that. Hi, Reese.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good,
Reese.
Reese.
So this is what happens in High Wycombe, is it?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
So basically, my neighbours share a front yard with me, and they love doing the Christmas lights and doing the decorations and whatnot.
Yeah.
I really can't be bothered. So
Yep.
what I said is I popped over to their house and I said, if you want to just creep it over into my side, I'm fine with that. So basically every Christmas they go into my yard, but they meet halfway, so I've got a fully lit up front yard and I sit back and do nothing.
And you do nothing. See, this is the best case scenario. So to the outside world, you look like you are
Putting
a
in the effort.
great community member.
Hey, Reese, are they powering it all too with their electricity?
They are powering the whole thing.
Reese,
Oh,
you
my
don't
God.
slip them a couple of bucks for, we have the blow up Santas and all the rest of the stuff going on.
Nah. Oh,
It's the bee's knees. Everything's there. They even put candy out the front, so I go and take some candy every day.
What a
Hey, Reese, is there a power board outside that's left unattended? You should power
plug that
your
in.
house. You should power your
fridge in there. A whole lot. It's a great month, December.
I'm not gonna lie. They have it out there, and one year I ended up plugging in my angle and I sat out the front.
Had a couple of cans.
Yeah, just to take some credit as well. Hey,
That's funny,
Reese, when does it start? Is it a December thing or will it go up in a couple of weeks?
It kicks off kind of the start of December.
Yeah, right.
It pretty much stays up all of December, and then it comes down in the
What a
new
great
year.
month
Can I
for
tell
you.
you, I'm obsessed by the whole thing. When they set it up, send us a photo, please, because it's brilliant.
So we can appreciate
It's
it.
brilliant.
Beautiful work. Thanks, Reese. Sarah's in Waikiki. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, you already sound defeated. Okay, talk to us about what happens in your street.
It's not my street. We, a few years ago, were purchasing a new house. So we're going to home opens, and we went to this one home open. It was a beautiful house. And when we walked out, we were ambushed by neighbours telling us that if we bought the house, we would have to participate in a fully decorated house for their Christmas thing that they do.
Yeah.
And that we needed to commit to that. And
Oh, my
it
God.
was frowned upon if we didn't. And I bought a house in another street.
Yeah.
Were they saying that to all prospective buyers that were coming through looking at the property?
It looked that way. There was
The
probably-
agent must have been spewing.
I'm pretty sure she was a bit ropeable, but I thought they were people just going to go for the home open. I thought, oh, this is a really busy home open. There's lots of people looking. But no, they were just ambushing people. As
Also,
they were.
Also, they can't force you. If you buy that house, there's no agreement.
I
there's
know
not,
that.
but if
I know
you're like
that.
Sarah,
but
you go,
yes.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
no.
yeah, it's
I am
off-putting
not
for
moving
sure.
into this mess.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? What a great way to really secure the people you want living in your street.
I know.
By getting them before they even buy the house. And telling them that you
This is the standard.
you live in this street under our rules. I love that street.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Well, we're going to get stuck into the Melbourne Spring Carnival because Channel 10 have got all the action over the next 4 days, and it begins tomorrow, Natalie. It's Derby Day out
Black
of
and white.
Flemington.
Got the black and white ready to go.
Yeah, speaking of black and white, we're going to catch up with Eddie Maguire,
That is a super segue.
who will be part of the 10 coverage. And Eddie, we're just talking about wearing black and white, obviously, Derby Day. Oh, that is so close to your heart after the last couple of months.
It is the epitome of fashion, of elegance, of sophistication.
Yeah.
And probably the paradoxical just the position of Collingwood and Derby Day, I suppose, in many ways.
Yes, yeah. The black and white is the common thread, but there's not much else in common, is there?
Hey. Come on, Nat.
Hey, Eddie, actually, before we get stuck into the racing, which I'm keen as mustard for, let's talk. You must have been beside yourself just a month ago.
Oh, it was fantastic, wasn't it? It was just an amazing year. Not a great year for West Australian footy, obviously.
No.
But, you've had some good years. Don't worry about that. And they'll be back soon enough. But, it was wonderful. The big crowds, I think what happened is everyone sort of went, right, okay, we're through COVID now. And the crowds right throughout the year. I mean, the Pies actually, if you take away the, having to play a couple of games down at Marvel, was the number one drawing team in the world outside of college football. And it's unbelievable when you look at that. And,
that's huge.
95,000. This is in a team that's got a town that's got 10 teams. And when you look at what we do with West Coast and Fremantle do over there at the magnificent Optus Stadium we've got in Perth and, in Adelaide and everything, it's just great. Brisbane Lions were selling out the Gabba every time they played. It's just unreal. And to be honest, it sets up the Melbourne Cup Carnival. We've seen the Caulfield Cup, we've seen Moonee Valley, we see up in Sydney, the Everest. And, my mail is that it's just about a sellout for Tuesday, and the weather's going to be right. I've been out of Flemington. It absolutely looks magnificent. They've got this new area called the Palooza for the younger kids to go and have fun and, the concerts. And it's got everything. It's just going to be an amazing week of sport and fun in Melbourne.
Yeah, but how are the Roses looking, Eddie?
Well, Luke Ryan.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Eddie, Luke Ryan from Fremantle. His dad is the curator of the Roses at Flemington.
Yeah, well, he deserves a bonus because I think they've changed a few of the roses. They've replanted. And I drove in last night. I was at a function last night, and they're the size of cabbages. They're unbelievable. They are, and the colour. And they've changed the colour palette. And, of course, you've got all the yellow roses, which is the colour of the roses for Melbourne Cup Day. And, it's you look the length of the Flemington Straight, and all you see is this sea of colour. And driving in through the car park last night, as I said, on both sides, you've got the birdcage on one side and you've got the nursery on the other. And it's just unbelievable. It's mind-blowing what they've been able to do. I mean, it's been going for 163 years, and it is. I've never seen it look better. I was talking to Glenn Boss. He said the same thing. It's just spectacular.
So, Eddie, we'll be watching the coverage on 10 and checking out beginning tomorrow with Derby Day, obviously. Have you been in horses yourself? I've not heard of you purchasing anyone. You see some big names getting around.
Are you like Shaun? Do you have secret horses that his family doesn't know about?
Well, my boys are getting a little bit more into the secret horses at the moment. So they're at the right demographic. I mean, look, for years my wife said Collingwood is your horses and your golf. That's right. It. Okay, you can have one or the other. So, look, I mean, I started, working at the barrier at the Melbourne Cup at Channel 10 before I went to Channel 9 when I was a 17-year-old. So, that's been my go. I didn't have any dough to buy horses back in those days, but loved going to the races. I won a trifecta, went overseas, and ended up at the Cheltenham Gold Cup and won some dough there and bought my first tuxedo at Harrods.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Had a couple of good runs like that over the journey. But I don't... I love the sport of it. In fact, it's quite funny this year. I actually haven't had a bet during the whole carnival, and I've watched every race. And I've just sort of wanted to immerse myself just in the sport of it again, and the breeding. And I went up to Ascot this year, and I went to also the Dubai Gold Cup. And I was up in Doha just looking at their facilities up there for horse husbandry. And so I really like. I love the business of it, and I love the romance of the turf. And yeah, of course I have a bet at times, but to be honest, this year I've just really enjoyed it and fallen in love with the sport of it again.
We've seen Royal Ascot on telly, and we've had a few conversations with people who have gone over there. But what's being in Dubai for the World Cup meeting? Because we're talking lots and lots of cash there.
Yeah, oil money.
Yeah.
Well, actually, but no betting, so it was interesting. But great facilities. But I'll say this is the one thing here. As an international traveller, when we all go overseas, what we do find out is just how unreal we do it here in Australia. And I'm not being parochial. I mean, the racing was unbelievable. I saw Vauban, who will be the favourite for the Cup, win by 6.5 lengths. And, unbelievable performance, and has followed that up with some of the track work. It actually, Absurd, who's running, was 6.5 lengths behind it in that race. And More Felons, which is, the weights aren't that different, also was running that week, finished 12, nearly 13 lengths behind. But with Jamie Carr in a bit more form and Chris Waller as the trainer might be something to put in your trifectas. But what you do find over there, the history and the tradition, I think that's what the Melbourne Cup Carnival brings. I love what Peter V'landys is doing in Sydney with the Everest. But, the traditions of, it's the 170th running.
Yeah.
Think about that. 170th running tomorrow, the Derby, 163rd of the Melbourne Cup. And you've just got this amazing history. But I was there last night at Flemington. It is the best appointed racecourse in the world. It is absolutely magnificent. As I said, with something for everybody, the younger kids out in the nursery, you've got the bird cage and all that corporate activity. And then the lawn is the length of the Flemington Straight. And there's something for everybody. And whether you're dressing up as a nun or you're turning up in an ornament or, this year in the shorts, you have to get those calves out, Shawnee. You're going to get them out. It is just wonderful. And it starts tomorrow, as you said, there, Natalie, that tomorrow is the glamour day.
Yeah.
It's this sophistication. It's every race is a black type race, 3 Group 1s. Then you go to the Cup Day, which used to be the day for everybody, and you've got Vauban coming out, but you've got also the horses, local horses involved. Then you go to Oaks Day, and now Champions Day on the Saturday is almost dare I say this out aloud, but in 1 year it's almost become the best racing day with all the races that we know. And, horses coming through from the Everest and coming through from the great races at Caulfield and the Moonee Valley and Cox Plate, all running, for the last 3 races of the Carnival now, $3 million each. And all the horses, Mr. Brightside, Zaki, all these great horses, they're all there. It's great.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Cracking weather too, 29 on Cup Day. That's bang in the zone, isn't it?
How good's Mark Zara? He's actually picked the weather in Melbourne. No one can do that.
Well, that's why he's jumped off Gold Trip in the big race there, Eddie.
Yeah, he's got across the without a fight, and geez, if he pulls that off, then he is a genius.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be watching all the action on Channel 10, of course, and you can stream it also on 10 Play. Eddie, it's going to be a great carnival. Thanks so much for joining us, mate.
Now, can I just say this one more time? Channel 10, Channel 10, Channel 10. For 1 week only, Channel 10, Channel 10. Okay?
Nobody understands how you get away with it, Eddie.
I know in Perth no one knows how to turn the channel off 7, but get it over the 10 for the races this week.
Yeah, I'll be doing it, mate.
Good on you, Eddie. Thanks, mate.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The Fremantle Dockers play their last game this weekend of the AFLW round. We play Sydney actually at home on Sunday. You can check that out about 2:10.
2:05.
2:05. Will you be 5 minutes late? Okay. Fremantle captain Hayley Miller joins us this morning. First time in here. Hayley, good morning.
It is. Thank you for having me.
Hayley.
Finally got the call up.
Hey, Hayley, I love the design of the Pride tops.
Yeah.
Yes, that looks amazing.
Pride round this weekend.
Yeah, Sam, who does our digital media, has already come in and said, can you ask Hayley if I can have one?
I didn't get that before I got here.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying, $100 at the store.
Yeah, go and buy it, Sam.
Yeah. Hey, does. I want a discount.
Yeah, well, the Dockers, please send Sam one. He really wants one. Thank you so
that'd
much.
be really nice. The season's gone so fast, Hayley.
I know, it's, 10 rounds. Before you've even started, it's over. So, it's unfortunately we're not going to make. Well, actually, we can still make finals. We just got to win.
Is it mathematically possible?
We can win by 15 goals, and then something else has to happen. And these people have to win and lose, and so we actually can make it. But it's going to be pretty tough.
There's probably stupid questions that everyone knows. All right, so what's the length of your season in total?
10 games.
10 games.
And what's the
Plus
length of the
finals.
normal season?
The men's season, they play 23 rounds.
23. Okay, so after the 23
22 games.
After that, so after that, we know they all go to Bali and all that sort of stuff, and then then pre-season starts straight away. When does pre-season start for you guys if it's only that shorter run of games?
Yeah, we have like a 6 months off. Or
Oh, my
5
God,
yeah.
do you?
Yeah. 4 to 6 months.
But a lot of girls play in the waffle competition,
So
which
then-
is the whole season before then as well.
Yeah, so then there's, some will go and play a bit of that, but everyone's got to go and generally work in the off-season, and it's a long time to keep, because you still got to keep fit.
Yes.
You can't just
Yes. No.
lose
You
all
gotta
your
let
fitness
yourself
and then
go,
get back
yeah.
up. So, there's a bit of, we will have training in between that time to keep fit and keep your skills up and
I was
whatnot, but-
talking to you about the fact that a lot of the girls still work. Some choose to work, some, have to work. You have a degree. What's your
Yes.
degree?
I have a degree in physiotherapy.
When did you stop doing that?
About 2 years ago.
How are your parents?
Yeah. Well, see, they're not happy about it because it's an expensive thing
degree.
to go through.
Yeah.
All of that, and one of my Christmas presents was actually my hex step. They paid it off.
paid it
was
off.
Amazing.
That is a bloody great present.
And then
Isn't
I,
it just
st-
great?
then
Then
I
he
stopped
stopped
practicing.
Yeah, that would have been wrapped with that.
I'm sorry, Mum. Sorry, Dad.
Because I stopped being a carer about 8 or 9 years ago. Nearly 9 years ago. Yeah, I know.
Holy hell,
and the thing is, if there's about a 3-year grace period with your registration, and after that, you have to work in order to maintain your registration.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer registered, and the re-registration process is horrific.
Well, technically,
Are you working that?
I'm a non-practicing physio at
Yes.
the moment, so it's great. When
But you
everyone
can't do
asks
that
me,
for
"Oh,
a
can I have a
non-practicing,
neck massage?" Sorry,
Catholic.
I'm
Yeah,
non-practicing.
I'm a non-practicing gay.
That is so true.
So how long could you be non-practicing before your registration's going to lapse?
I think you can be it for a while, but
Right.
like you said, there's a bit to get back into it.
It's a major ordeal to
We
get
really
back.
should talk to people about the degrees we don't use. I'm a graphic designer, and the fact is, once you're out of that, if you don't practice that within 6 months, the amount of new programs that come
Yes,
up,
the software changes so
you're
rapidly.
out of the software. You have to relearn all the
Yeah.
software again.
Yeah.
God, so we've got a graphic designer, chiropractor, and a physiotherapist, and Sean.
Year 12 certificate.
And sorry,
Come on!
Sean.
Thank you. Hayley,
He's just non-practicing.
A non-practicing
I
Sean.
find it easier. No hex dead here. Don't worry about that.
Tab debt though, big tab debt.
They're completely different. Hayley, I want to ask too, if I had to work with my partner in this environment, we'd kill each other, right?
That's a
And
great
you
point.
have the grace and you have that partnership. You work and play
Yes.
football with your partner.
Yes.
So how the hell does that work?
We do have to split the two, but it's also being captain too is a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Are you,
because-
are you captain at home?
Probably not.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's the healthy way
I
to
don't know.
balance
Maybe
it.
that's
Maybe
that's
that's
the
it.
way.
Yeah.
No, it is, but we separate it pretty well when we're at the club or at work. Where it's very much, and if I'd yelled at her on the field. She's always at home. She'll go complain. Oh, we're always going long down the line. We got to switch it in and hit those kicks. And then I was down. I was ready for the switch, the small kick.
Yeah,
and
she
kick it to
wasn't
me.
there.
Went long down the line. And I was like, well, you've been talking all day about not going long down the line and hitting those kicks, and then you've let me go and gone down long down the line. So no, it's fine. We make it work.
What do you like at giving a spray or constructive criticism?
I wouldn't say I'm not a big, not like yourself, giving a good spray, but when a hard word needs to be had, and often game day sometimes a bit of a rev up in the circle to get the girls going, sometimes is needed. But
let's talk about the Sean McManus effect. So you have experienced a bit of a rev up, from the big fella.
Yeah, we did a few years ago. I can't remember. I think we might have been going into a prelim final.
Yeah,
or something
you were.
like
Can
that.
you remember some of the key phrases that really stuck with you?
That you can say on radio?
No, none of those. Can't say any of them on here. No, it was a lot about moving the chains. And there was a lot of, and we really talked about what that meant.
No one ever worked out what moving the chains was.
We're quite intrigued.
What is moving the chains, and do we need to do it here?
Yes. No, that's just inch by inch and taking more ground as you move forward.
Oh, so just like every step forward's a step forward?
Like a bit of a tug of war kind of situation.
Is the chains thing something you made up, or is that a pre-existing?
The dockers used to haul the anchor in by chains? Is that where you got it
I
from?
think you guys are diving a little too deep there.
So it's just words you
I think
use.
it's words
The
happening.
words you use, you thought, okay, I've let them go and they'll never be repeated again.
Or questions.
They were words in between the swear words.
That's the only normal words that came out. The rest was swear words.
And how effective was it?
We lost. Yes.
Could I just say, and this is a lesson to everybody that's listening on, we've said it so much, and it's a public service announcement. If you want to win something, don't put Shaun anywhere near it.
No, don't put him in the mix.
Hey, like, honestly, Hayley, like, tell the doctors, I don't think they realise. I think they go, oh, it's all Shaun, blah, blah, blah. No, you got to look back.
He's a
Look
life
at the
member.
past.
Yeah.
If Shaun's been around, something has failed. Whether it be horses,
Oh, sad but true. That's the
or a
thing.
game.
Yeah.
Well, you gave the men's a rev up, did you?
Yeah, I
How'd
gave the
they
men
go,
a rev
did
up
they?
this season.
Oh.
So
when?
they, you know,
Which
obviously
game?
everyone at the start of the season
The
to
start
set
of
the
the
tone.
season.
To set the tone.
Because there were high hopes for the Dockers
Huge
at the
hopes.
beginning of this season. You know,
Yep, yep.
you told me top 4.
Did you give
guaranteed.
them the Unchained Melody? Did you
No,
give
it's
them
a
the-
completely different spiel, and
What
I did tell
what was
you.
the message? Can you remember the key
There's
message
lots
from
of
this
messages. I don't want to give too much away because I might need to use it again. But
I don't
here's
think
the
you
thing.
should.
And also,
If I walked
the Eagles
out
might
of
be
there-
listening. They might take the secrets.
Because what happened, Shaun?
Well, I walked out of there and I was like almost high-fiving myself.
Yeah.
I thought, that went brilliant.
Yeah.
What a
I
great
fired
message.
this top
Yeah.
4 team up to top 2.
Nathan, if they win the finals, I'm going to get credit.
If
to
they win the
setting
finals, they
scene.
go look back and they'll go, okay, the premiership, what was the turnaround? They would have gone, it's actually weird. It was Sean McManus
They'd
came
be
in
getting
and
you to hand
talked
over the
about
cup.
Yeah.
chains for some reason, and now look at us.
Lost the first game to St Kilda after that speech and then went on to lose against North Melbourne and never recovered from that point on. Justin hasn't invited me back. And Belly hasn't answered any of my calls.
Oh, no. In
So
fact,
a lot happening there.
He's taken a different job, so he doesn't have to answer your calls.
I'll get him sooner or later.
You're
Now-
great, Hayley Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hayley.
thanks for coming in,
Thank
Hayley.
you.
Hey, by the way, we've got some deals happening on the weekend too. You can
Right.
buy one, get one free tickets to the game until midnight on Friday. Under 18s is free, so make sure. My brother-in-law goes to every single game. He takes girls along to check
And
that out. Loves
get
it.
there early because when there's a big crowd, it can be a bit difficult getting in the ground, can't it? We
Yeah,
don't
it
want you to
can.
miss any of the action.
Yeah,
There
there was a
is-
line around the corner
Yeah,
one time.
yeah.
Well, there'll be a line around the corner for the glitter tent, Sean. There's going to be a glitter tent there and a performance, Natalie, by a wonderful band called
Rat salad.
Rat Salad.
All the way from Geraldton.
They did perform with Eskimo Joe.
Yeah,
I'm
they
reading
did.
all this.
Yeah,
here.
they
It's
did.
fantastic stuff.
They did.
Pride jumpers will be signed.
And they
Pants will
also
get
performed with Joan and the Giants.
Looks pretty good on the CV,
So, do
Nathan.
you reckon Joan's just small and all the
that really
rest
there?
of the people in the band are big?
stuff. Oh, that's really there. I thought
Yeah.
you made that up.
Joan
No,
and the
no, yeah,
Giants.
Joan and the Giants.
What are you talking about? You had their CDs.
Hayley,
and the
good luck
Hayley,
this
thanks for
weekend.
coming in.
Still here.
Just talking amongst ourselves. Sorry.
Hayley's just
Hayley's all over,
thinking,
she left.
maybe I can go back to that physiotherapy career.
Will you get us Joan and the Giants autograph, please?
Yeah, I'll try.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck against the Sydney Swans
Thank
and
you.
have a massive trip away for the end of season trip. That's not too far away as well, because unless mathematically you guys make the finals.
15 goals. Easy.
15,
Easy
easy.
done.
Easy.
Done.
Come on, mate.
No problem.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun in podcast form.
We are talking about the weird house rules that you might have had to live with, like Priya, who works with us here. She wasn't allowed to turn the heating on in Canberra.
Freezing.
No leaving her bedroom after 10
insane.
p.m. and the wine glass could not be in the cupboard where the flatmate might see it because she didn't drink. A wine
Unbelievable that
glass.
this is real. Let's go to Tamara in Hammersley. Hi, Tamara.
Hi, good morning.
Hey,
I
Tara.
have the absolute worst house rule ever. I rent
Okay.
a property,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and on the back of each toilet door, there is a big sign saying, do not flush the toilet paper. It needs to be placed in a bin after use.
Oh, this is
Doesn't
like
matter
being in
whether you're
Greece.
doing-
Yes.
Yeah, it's
What?
pretty gross.
But this is not Greece,
No,
Natalie.
that's right. We have plumbing. So I take it, is there a septic?
Well, there must be. They were obviously worried about blockage
Yeah.
of drains, but yeah, it really worries the visitors, and they think it's a joke. But I go along with it and say, "Oh no, don't flush the toilet paper." But yeah,
My God.
absolutely don't follow that.
Whose
rule.
job is it to empty the
Well, she
toilet
doesn't
paper
follow it,
bin?
but
I just think it's so funny for Tamara if a guest to walk in and then she hands them like a plastic sandwich bag.
You're going to need this.
Just take that with you.
And just pop that in your bag and take that home with you, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Tamara.
So
Gross.
that's currently in your house.
It's absolutely on every toilet door at the moment, a big sign.
Wow, you can't rent
And
someone a house and ask them
you're
not
in-
to flush toilet
But
It's
paper.
you're in
Hammersley.
Hammersley. You're not
Yeah.
living out in this. And even
No, it's not in the
I
sticks.
mean, I grew up with a septic tank.
Mum
and
and
we
Dad
could
had
still,
one.
So do
and we
we.
could still
We
flush
flushed
toilet
out
paper.
toilet paper.
Yeah. Just so weird, Tamara. Good luck. Thank you. Melanie's in Wellard. Hello.
Hey, going?
Hi,
Hey, Mel.
You sound very far away, Mel.
I'm on my way to work. I do drive in, drive out.
Oh,
okay.
Picking up what you're putting down. All right. What was it, Mel?
So I used to live with my cousin, and she had a toilet in the bathroom as well as a separate toilet. And we weren't allowed to use the toilet in the bathroom for a poo, and we were only allowed to use it if an emergency for a wee.
What?
So what's...
Where would you poo?
In the separate toilet.
Separate toilet.
We had to go in the separate toilet, but if someone was in the separate toilet, you had to wait.
So,
Okay.
what was the reasoning? Did she ever say?
She didn't want poo germs all over her stuff in the bathroom.
So that's her own bathroom. You're not doing your stuff in here. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, have you seen those videos where they show when you flush a toilet how much
Where
poo
everything
particles
goes?
covers
Yeah.
everything? So she's right, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, maybe. But, I always took my lid down when I flushed the toilet anyway.
I know,
Yeah.
but not everyone can be trusted like you. She's just worried about all the poo particles all over her
On the
Revlon colour stay.
On the toothbrush.
She didn't want her bathroom smelling of poo.
I mean, that seems normal.
I can see her reasoning why. I do think it's unreasonable.
It's a bit extreme,
But I
yeah.
can see her reasonings why.
Sharon's in Jindalee. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good,
Great,
Sharon.
Sharon. Okay, talk to us about the house rules you've lived with.
So basically, I couldn't use the bathroom or the kitchen before 7 a.m., which was a bit tricky because I started work at 8.
So why? What was the reasoning behind that?
So the bathroom, when you flush the toilet or use the shower, it was really noisy. The pipes made loads of noise. So if she didn't like it, it disturbed her. And then the kitchen, if you put the kettle on or made any noise, it'd wake her up, and she didn't like it. So I ended up joining the local gym just to use their facilities.
Oh, my God, Sharon.
I know, and then the girl in the gym actually said, "Are you actually having a workout?" And then they had to explain, so I only came to use the toilet and have a shower.
Oh, my God.
Sharon, did you ever work out of that gym?
No, never. But you did have a really good cafe, though, so we used to get some nice healthy cake.
Yeah,
You joined the gym so you could have a shower
Sharon,
and then
and
pop into the
breakfast.
cafe.
Exactly.
Sharon, plus pay your rent. Plus pay your rent.
Yes.
The person you live with, Sharon, what was the reasoning why they didn't want to have the noise? Like, that's not unreasonable.
She wanted to sleep
that.
in.
She didn't like it. She wanted to sleep in.
Because she didn't go to bed till 10. And she didn't have to get up till 9, so she didn't want to get disturbed, basically. But she'd come in of a night.
That's 11 hours.
And I know.
She hibernates. It's like a hibernation.
Do people sleep that long
For 11 hours.
Harry goes to bed at 10 and gets up at 4.
Well, I'm on basically about 6 hours a night. Are
same.
people getting 11 hours sleep? Wouldn't you wake up? Wouldn't your back hurt?
It's not.
Yeah, it
it's
would.
not making her more cheerful. So I don't see the point of it.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
Well, we've been graced by an absolute legend of netball in the
Sporting
studio at the
royalty.
moment. Australian sporting royalty, Liz Ellis, 122 games for the Diamonds, absolutely dominated through her career. But we're going to be
GK.
talking to you about a new show, Liz, which is
Yes.
fantastic.
Well, netball and gladiators go
Oh, it's a
hand in
combination.
hand, don't they? It's a match made in heaven.
Yes, and I've seen the class of gladiators. Some of them look like they're wearing shiny bibs. So
And with a big G, like
with a big
goal.
G.
And as a GK, you were a career defender. Because Gladiators is all about defence,
It is.
really, from
That's
the Gladiators' point of view.
Yeah, it is. They've got to defend against the contenders on the pyramid
Yes.
and up the wall and all sorts of crazy events that we do. It's amazing. It's just the most phenomenal show. And to have it back, lots of
Liz,
people
we
grew up
grew up
watching
with it. We
Yeah.
grew up with it. Yeah, and
there was Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan,
Yeah,
who was Nick
Vulcan.
Natanui's
Yeah.
cousin or uncle or something.
And there was
yeah.
Storm and Fury. I remember Fury.
Oh, Fury and Delta.
And Delta.
And there's been a Netflix special that you can see on Gladiators because the guys were going hard and making sure that they, they were big and built and strong, and they got lots of injuries when they were being the Gladiators back in the day.
It was amazing. Did you watch it, Muscles and Mayhem at
Yeah,
school?
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it just before we went in to start filming.
Yeah.
And actually, it was really nice because even though it was just, there were some pretty controversial things in it, but I felt like I was really part of something. And I'm a bit of I love heritage and that sort of thing when you talk about the Diamonds. And when I was a captain, it was one of the things that I was really big on of getting the girls to think about where we'd come from. And then to watch that Muscles and Mayhem and go, I'm not just making a television show. This is something that's meant a lot to people in a lot of different countries over a number of years. noise.
Yep.
So it was a real privilege to be part of that. And then to walk into the actual arena, it's like a Marvel comic universe.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like the Avengers.
It is. It's exactly what it's like. And then these gladiators who are... So I want you to think about... and Sean, you would have seen people like this. You know, like the contenders in the show are like people who are just really fit at the gym.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, super fit. Just
Nathan's been doing
yourself,
push-ups
Nate.
and things.
Thank you.
He's up there.
Good,
Yeah.
I've recently gone up a size.
Do you know what? I thought I almost saw a peck then.
Just a peak of a
It
peck.
was just a wrinkle. It was a wrinkle in your t-shirt, but that's okay. But so the contenders look like fit people at the gym. The gladiators are
Beasts.
next level.
Yeah.
Like they are so the next level. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, because there's CrossFitters. There's a couple of CrossFitters in there. There's a number of bodybuilders in there.
Yes.
Apart from other athletes who have been at Commonwealth Games, maybe. Was
Yeah,
there
so
one?
the Electra is she was a Commonwealth Games gymnast.
That's
so
right.
she's amazing. And Phoenix was an NRL player who is phenomenal.
Yep.
And I didn't realise that CrossFit was such a thing. It's like
it's
a massive
huge.
thing. It's like
Is CrossFit the thing where they just pick up heavy things and anything's a gym? Is that CrossFit?
Yeah, anything's
how's
a
that?
gym. Oh, I guess so. If you're watching it on ESPN, which is
Yes.
shown all the time, they're
Yes.
doing all kinds of disciplines. So it might be bike riding into clean and jerks,
Yes.
into a
Yeah,
running
yeah.
race, into a swimming.
Yeah.
and they're phenomenally fit. Like it is next level fitness, and it becomes like it's such a massive lifestyle. So some of the contenders were coming in and actually fanning on the gladiators because they'd seen them in CrossFit. So they were
right.
so excited to be getting smashed down the pyramid by their heroes.
Oh,
Now-
yeah. I like it.
You, of course, are in charge of this whole show, so I'm guessing you know all the bits and pieces. So
I didn't know what I need to know. I'm a simple woman.
I want to talk about costuming. Did they get any say? Because I'm seeing Jet Kenny here in a midriff
Oh, look,
with some feathered shoulder pads.
anytime you see Jet Kenny in a midriff, it's a good day.
I would
Is it not?
say,
He's
is
got
he
a
ever
sweet
not in a midriff would
Look
be
at
the
his-
question.
Look at his feathered, his feathered very shoulder pads.
Sean,
and
all
then
I-
we've got this guy here. Who's he?
Oh, that's Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Oh, that's
He's wearing
Sandor,
Yeah,
the
he's
rugby
the
player.
Sandor.
Oh, yeah.
From going to rugby to wearing a giant silver cape with a boob tube.
Yeah.
It is so
Nathan,
great.
do you know what,
Big
Nate?
unit.
I
You
love
wouldn't-
we live in this day.
If he walked in here, you wouldn't say that to his face.
Oh,
You'd be
I
like,
would. I
"Oh
would
my
just make sure
God."
that I dove out of the window straight away afterwards.
And look, all I cared about was that I wasn't wearing a midriff. I'm a lady in my 50s who's given birth twice.
Liz, with a cape, then it would
Look,
work.
if it had capes and feathers, there'd be sort of something to hide my cake under, I guess. But yeah, no, that's as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's great for them. What am I going to wear? So I'm
Yes.
very sensible in my attire.
I love it.
Hey Liz, we've seen you on a lot of TV shows over the journey, particularly sporting ones. But to do this and be a host of a show, was there
Yeah.
any trepidation? Is this going to work? Is this going to be for me?
Yeah, heaps, right? So this time last year, I was in a caravan on the Western Australian coast with my family. We took the year off and went travelling, took the kids out of school. And during that period of time, I was thinking, oh, well, I've sort of called netball for 15 years.
Yeah.
I've had this very serious sort of sporting media career. And then I thought, I'll just have to get a regular job. And I got home and I got the call up to do I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And my first reaction was, nah, not doing that. And they kept calling me back, and then they sent a sizzle reel. And the worst thing that I did was to watch that reel with all the fun stuff with my 12-year-old daughter.
That's a bit of a laugh.
And she was like, Mum, that's amazing. You got to do it. I said, no, I don't want to do it. She goes, why not? And I said, well, I just, it's reality TV. I just worry
You
what
have to drink giraffe urine and things. Like, you know, there's a lot of downsides.
Oh, I don't mind drinking all sorts of things, but that didn't bother me. But I was more like,
I get you.
what will people think?
Yeah.
And she was like, Mum, you've always told us to never worry about what other people think. So
Oh,
the moral
damn
to that
it.
story
Don't-
is don't teach your children things because I'll throw it back to you and someday
Yes.
you'll end up in the jungle. So I said yes, and it's just been a phenomenal year to go, oh
What
my
a roller
God,
coaster. Well, you said
celebrity.
yes, you won it.
And then I
you
won
were
it.
Queen of the Jungle.
Which surprised me massively.
Yeah.
And then to do Gladiator, Sean, getting back to your question, it was just... I was really nervous, but the best thing that happened was that Bo Ryan was is my co-host.
He's a very natural presenter.
Very natural, and he
Unlikable,
hosts
yeah.
every show on Channel 10.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting for him to read the news, actually. I think
Yeah.
that's probably the next part of his
Yeah.
career. But he's doing Top Gear and he's done
Yeah.
the
Amazing
Amazing
Race.
Race. And so he's really experienced, and he just sort of held my hand at the start and sort of walked me through it. But I think it's just... Our whole thing was about showing that not only is this fun and it's entertainment, but the gladiators are phenomenal athletes, but the contenders are really impressive athletes. And you would understand this, Sean. This is their World Cup. This is their grand final for them to be up against their heroes competing. So we sort of are trying to bring a little bit of that to it as well.
I'm a bit confused, Liz, because you keep directing all the sports comments to Sean, but you have commented on my pecs being bigger, so I don't actually get why they're not being directed to me.
It's weird, Liz.
No,
weird.
that to me is weird.
Hey, the very great Liz Ellis is in the house. Captain, Australian netball captain, Queen of the Jungle, now host of Gladiators. She can do no wrong.
You've done it all, Liz, and we've been talking about a whole heap of things while the music's been playing, but you've touring around WA. So tell everyone where you started, New South Wales, but you got to the north of WA to come back down.
Yeah, so we started in New South Wales, came up through South Australia and the Northern Territory, and then headed across into Kununurra, did the Gibb River Road, then just tootled down the coast, ducked into Mount Augustus. Stayed with friends of friends at Marble Bar on a cattle station there, which was unreal.
Wow, so you're like...
You've seen stuff that we've never seen.
Most people just stop at a town, but you're like doing cattle stations and...
Yeah, all the things, right?
When they have the news here, Liz, they always have, 37 today in Perth, and then I have Marble Bar, which is 2037.
It's the hottest place going around.
It was warm, but it wasn't too bad because we were there in the middle of winter, so we sort of timed it well. And then, we camped on the Ningaloo coast and did all of that, swam with the whale sharks, came down and at Jurien Bay we did the sea lion, swimming with the sea lions, which was unreal. My husband was like, don't sharks eat sea lions? I'm like, yeah, look, just you'll be fine, sweetheart. And here we are, we're all still alive.
I'm thinking if a shark had a choice and saw a sea lion and a human on the same plate, it would eat the sea lion, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes they get confused
because a human
about what
would
they
be
look
like a bit of, when you get like a thick breakfast sausage and a thin one, you'd go for the thick one, wouldn't you? And that'd be the seal.
Says a lot about you, I think. No?
Thick and thin. I don't know where we're going with that. But we actually did a tour with one of your old mates, Sean.
Yeah, you brought it up, Darren Capewell, king of Shark Bay.
Yeah, so I booked in to do a tour with him there. He does these great overnight tours up into the national park, into Francois-Peron National Park, and I'd read that it was great. He did good tours, and he rang me one day, and it had started to rain. You know, when it rains up there, everything just shuts down. He said, we'll have to hold the tour over for a couple of days. And then he goes, are you who I think you are? And I'm like, I don't know. Who do you think I am?
Yes, it's Liz Hurley.
Well, I used to get Liz Smiley, but I take Liz Hurley.
Too extra.
And, now it's like, too extra. Anyway, so he said, right, I'm going to meet you at the pub in an hour. I was like, right, kids, husband, we just got ourselves together. We walked down to the Shark Bay Hotel and we had this huge night. And the kids are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, just shut up and be quiet and sit over there. Here's a phone, look at the screen. And we had the funniest night. And then Capes took us on a tour and a couple of days later and we stayed overnight, and he's just amazing. But, he was king of Shark Bay, but I think the Dockers had won a final the night before, or won a game the night before. And so he picked us up in his shorts and his singlet and his Freo scarf and was driving down the road in Shark Bay. There's only one road. Hanging his Dockers scarf out the window.
Tell us about how you started as a client but ended up in another place.
Oh, yeah. So then we did an overnight trip, and then we got back and we hadn't booked into the caravan park, and we were just going to free camp. He goes, oh, no, just pull your caravan up next to my place. So random. He had this empty block. Probably shouldn't. If you're on Shark Bay Council, please stop listening now. So we pulled the caravan up to this empty block, and the next morning he knocks on the door and he goes, come in for a coffee. So we walk around to his place for a coffee, and then he goes, oh, I've got a tour today. Can you make the salads? So
you started interning over his tour company.
I'm standing in Capes' kitchen going, 2 days ago I was a valued client. Today I'm just an unpaid intern. Here I am making the salads.
2 days ago you were Liz Ellis.
Yeah.
Now you're the kitchen hand.
Now you're Liz Smiley.
There was no Smiley about it. I was like, here's your salads.
He's so lovely.
Honestly, you've had such a long time of being in the public eye, and people would, of course, act differently around you. So when you get to meet someone like that, is it just refreshing?
It is refreshing.
They
and
don't
it's fun.
care. It's just like,
No, he didn't care. He's more famous in Shark Bay than I am, so it just worked beautifully. But it was heaps of fun. But, I I find that like everyone's really nice to me. I walk down the street and people smile, mainly because they don't know who I am, but they think they might have gone to school with me. They just vaguely know
that
my
old
face.
chestnut,
Right. Did I go to school with you? No. But then I go overseas and people don't smile at me, and I'm like, people
What's
here
wrong
aren't
with
happy.
them?
This is a crap country, and my husband's like, no, right here, you're getting what the rest of us live with. It's like I'm going back home where people love me.
Because after the jungle, didn't you go on a holiday to France or somewhere?
Did,
Yeah,
yes.
And that's what the Queen. She starts in WA, but once she's the Queen, she goes to France.
I went to France. They don't like royalty in France, so I was very lucky to keep my head.
So what did you go to France for?
Oh, because I'd booked a holiday to France before I even decided to go into the jungle. It was just my husband and I. We hadn't had a holiday without the kids. We were seeing a friend over there, so we just thought we'd go to France for 2 weeks, and I just drank my body weight in rosé.
Wow.
Can I say that at this time in the morning?
Of course you can.
Just checking. Yeah,
Of
so
course
it
you
was
can. This
great.
show's
French
brought to you by
rosé.
Were you worried about leaving the kids for that long? I know it's a freedom, and there's a few mothers in this room who go, oh, yes, but 2 days. And did you ever get the shakes like I've got to see them?
No. Should I have thought about that a bit longer? No,
How old are they now?
They're 12 and 7.
Yeah.
So, but they stayed with my mum, and my mum is like, she had a horrible grandmother, so her whole grandmothering style is I give the kids whatever they want, and if they don't think of it, I'll think of all the bad stuff and still give it to them. And then she called 2 of her sisters and said, come up. So there was 2 kids, 3 grandmothers. It's taken probably from May until now for us to re-establish
to get their blood
discipline
sugar
and order.
levels down.
Yeah. And then Halloween hit, and we're all back to where we started from. I tell you, and I wasn't home for Halloween, so they were unsupervised on Halloween again. I think my husband was around somewhere.
I'll tell you what, Liz Ellis, the reason why people walk past and smile at you is you're bloody great.
You bring the joy.
You really are. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
great
good to
Liz.
chat to you guys.
Mate, we're
Thanks
always on the
for coming in,
phone,
mate.
never in real life.
I know.
You know what
I've
I
been
mean?
into this
Yeah, she's
studio a
been here
couple of
before.
times.
Yeah, I know, but like we're on the phone all the time.
I know. I should just move to Perth, shouldn't
It's a
I?
great idea.
The properties are like $20. Have you not seen the news?
Very nice.
Compared to
Stop it.
Sydney,
You can
properties
make
are
salads
$20.
for us. We're
Yes.
right with that.
Totally. I make an excellent salad. Just ask you make capes.
Kofi.
Well, Gladiators
geez.
is coming in 2024. Brace yourselves, everybody. Hosted by Liz Ellis and Bo Ryan. Thank you so much for coming in, Liz.
thanks,
You're a
guys.
joy.
Thanks, Liz. Good on you.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.